Raise your hand. All right, Mexico. Now, why aren't the real dark indigenous Mexicans in power? Look at South America. In practically every country, the ruler is white. And he claims he's Peruvian. He's Bolivian. He's Ecuadorian. He's Brazilian. He's Venezuelan. He's Colombia. But go look at the country and look at the dark people that are there. They never reach where their power would allow them to reach, but they're so masterfully manipulated by a mimetic white man. And when I say a mimetic white man, you might as well open up your ears too. A mimetic white man is a white man that takes on, like a chameleon, the language, the culture, the history, the folk music of the place where he goes. So you have Mexicans, but they're Mexican Jews. They run the country. You have German Jews, Polish Jews, Ukrainian Jews, Russian Jews, Lithuanian Jews, Estonian, Latvian, Denmark Jews, Sweden, Norway, Finland Jews. You have Italian Jews. You have French Jews. And everywhere they are, they take on the language, the culture, but they run the money. They run the business. When there's a Jewish holiday, everything gets silent. They're very wise people. So Jesus was their last prophet. Prophets don't come because things are right. That's like the sheriff visiting your house. What is he doing there? Something is going on here. That's why the sheriff comes. But when God sends a prophet, it's not because you do it right. Because you're doing something wrong that has stirred the anger of God. And now the prophet wants to warn you and correct you to put you back on the right course. So Jesus, listen to me carefully. He was no Jew. See, we want them to challenge what we say. And you just shut up and sit down and tell them, come on out and meet Farrakhan in the public. You can't defeat Elijah Muhammad's wisdom. No, you can't. I know all of you got Jewish friends. I got some too. I have a daughter in this house that lives in Mexico, educated there, has a Jewish friend. And I guess she was staying overnight, and so she decided. Now, a lot of you, see, now you go back home, pick up your Bible. All right, scholars, theologians, come on, go get your Bible. Jesus. His mother Mary was an Egyptian woman. was a member of the black nation. Just listen to me. And he came to warn the Jews that the end of their time was coming. He thought he was the one that was to end their civilization, and he found out he was 2,000 years too soon. Just follow this now. So what did they do? They used Jesus to shield dirty religion under the holy and righteous name of the servant of God. I'm moving what I'm saying. This is theology. One. Look at this now. Jesus never taught anywhere in the Bible. Not the Jesus 2,000 years ago. He was born in Palestine. Had to flee out of Palestine to go to Egypt because Herod wanted to kill him at birth. That's what the scripture is telling you. They knew that a prophet was supposed to be born at that time, so they were looking for him. His mother had to flee to Egypt. And when he was between 12 and 14, he learned his mission. And he went back to Palestine and started teaching the Jews. Kind of brownish, but dark enough for them to know. Now watch what I'm about to do. So the Jews didn't want Jesus. Now I'm going to quote the scripture. I didn't mean it. Go home. Open up the book. You can start it, Matthew.
You told me 9 times out of 10, any man's gonna be like, yes, I'm gonna be holding my country, blah blah. These men are gonna flee. Yes, in ideal world, in an ideal world, every man should be like, yes, I'm gonna rep my country, but not every man is like that. That's what me understand. Yeah, I feel cause listen, my side, I got family coming from Rwanda, and this is the time when they had the genocide, and I had people family come from the country, the UK. So for me, or somebody say, oh, you're a waste man, why are you gonna leave the country like that, bro? For being chopped up.
You know what it is, bro?
You see what I mean?
I didn't say everyone. I said, you know, obviously you have certain men, you have
Yeah.
children. There's obviously different categories of people. But what I categorically said is men who are able-bodied, yeah, and they have absolutely no reason to leave. Then, so that's one aspect. Then they leave. Then they become arrogant.
Daughters of
Talk
Jerusalem.
about their interest in Christ. Listen, if
Jesus
you're a young man and you come
comes into
over,
Revelation saying,
your head
I am
down,
the
your thing,
seed of David,
then I've got no problem. But it's when you become
the root
arrogant.
of Jesse,
Bro, to me, arrogance.
the bright and the morning star. We're going to
You know what I'm saying?
open
So
that
when
up a
you
little
come with
bit.
that arrogant,
Just bear with me a few more minutes.
that arrogant spirit.
Look at this now.
Puffing your chest out and you're looking down on people. Yeah, I'm from here. Look
No,
at
no.
me, do okay. But yeah,
Yeah.
left. It's like no, bro.
But again, I see it comes from, but again, there's also a difference between being arrogant and just being proud of your nation. You know what I mean? I know there's a difference sometimes.
With a suntan.
Because pride is when you take up yourself. Build identity and you're proud of
watch
it
this.
and you share it. Arrogance is when you take
Look
what
at the
you have or what you didn't even build and then you tread on
Jews.
Yeah, I mean, so there's totally different. So if someone comes to me and goes, for your country,
And you haven't paid attention to it.
you know, and they're proud.
Look at you,
Because when I'm with my Nigerian friends and they're speaking Nigerian, bruv, I'm jealous. I wish I had my original language to talk. I wish. I love being around my Ghanaian friends and my Nigerian friends and my Somali friends. I love it. Yeah, I mean,
But you bring the
when they
rabbi in there all the time. You have never asked rabbi,
But then
rabbi,
when that turns into, look at
why you don't love Jesus?
our tribe is this, we are this, that, it's like, no.
Because he
Yeah,
white
yeah.
with
It's
money.
like, but why are you like that when you're left with
You
such
go
and
in the
such a place
synagogue,
this
put
state?
on the yarmulke and act like you a Jew.
But again,
But you never had
yeah,
the
I
strength
think it
to
comes from,
ask
but again, this is coming on the whole
why
family thing.
did
I
you
think, I don't know, I think
honor
Kiyoshi might mention it in the last episode about speaking about, you know, Brixton and Hatton and all that, like how you have Jamaicans and Nigerians. But again, it's also that thing that, oh, if you're Nigerian or whatever, it's like people think that Jamaicans as, oh,
Playlist and get all 4 shows for the brothers in the United Kingdom. You know, they come over and take over every Saturday, and they're gonna be doing some great things. Shout out to One Mark DC. So
in Israel?
thank you for listening. Get the likes up on the video.
And guess
Appreciate
what
you.
the Jews
Let me kind of do this real quick, right? Because I know I've alluded to this before, but let me kind of start off with Senator. This time I'm gonna start off with sports and philosophy.
yeah.
In the USA, okay, the USA,
Should I say it again?
Black Americans, there are other different. You have African Americans. We are the dominant group, and then you have like other blacks, like they may be like Black Dominicans or Black Puerto Ricans or Black Caribbeans, or then you have like your African groups. These are small parts of the Black population, which most African Americans really kind of ignore to a certain degree, because there's so many of us that we don't really come in contact. I don't think. I think a lot of these immigrant blacks tend to do, in most cases, better. Not the Dominican ones, but you know, your kind of your Caribbean blacks or some of your African blacks. They tend to, except for living in Florida. The Haitians in Florida, I don't know what the fuck wrong with that. But they tend not to be so intermixed. I can say that really as far as Africans. One thing you will always hear when it comes to like Jamaican women or African women or something like that, or even like Dominican women, when it comes to dating Black men, don't bring me home an African American. In fact, there's a girl from Kenya who is like 19. Her parents are African immigrants. They're like Kenyan diplomats, and she said she could date anybody, doesn't matter white. But if she dates an African American, there's an issue with that. Let's talk about that as far as Britain. Like, if you're a Caribbean, you're a Nigerian, you're like a Tanzanian. Have girls ever told you like, my parents are gonna have a hard time dating you because you're a Jamaican? Or you're a Nigerian, you're a Tanzanian. Does this thing happen?
This is Obama.
Like it does in Black America, as it would in Britain.
This is Obama.
And also, is there a class component? Like,
this is Obama.
If you're a Tanzanian
this is
guy,
Obama
you have
and
to have
Michelle.
like a certain level of education to date a certain Black chick.
Do
Let's
they
talk
look
about that.
like they look, or are they made to look like they're in the eighth family?
That's a very good question. I don't know about for the other brothers, but for me, what I did is like.
So the same way they thought about Jesus, who came with the authority of God to straighten them out, they hated Barack,
for example, I would say
who came with the authority of your vote for him.
You can kind of get away with it because obviously
To try to
the
do
African
what
connection
Trump
of
is
collusion
saying
in
he
Somalia,
wants to
some
do.
Somalia,
Make
Somalia,
America
Kenya.
great.
So with them it's like it's okay, but I think with more or less people from South Asia, it's more like no, it's like taboo unless you kind of meet that stereotype of I enjoy or what you do. Because I think with South Asian people they have the perception of all Black people that they're out and about being a manless, being drugs and everything. So I would say with South Asians it's more stereotypes, whereas Black is more like those with Somalis it's more you have a better chance to make a mistake than with South Asian people.
The Jewish holy book is the Talmud.
Let's go to King Riches.
Now you can go.
Yeah, so fucking 100%, bro. Like,
put it up on the board.
when I was before I went to America, like when I was younger, it was a thing. Like, do you know what I mean? I grew up predominantly around Caribbeans, like Jamaicans, like
they wanted to boil him in
being a lot of time being the only African in the group. You know what I mean? Even though we all sound the same, we all look the same more or less.
What?
You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a thing. You know what I mean? And I already mentioned it. Like, there are some girls that even, we're not even talking about their parents, we're talking about them in their social circles. At that time, it would be a thing that, bro, like, where do you come from? Do you know what I mean? If you're not a Caribbean, then no. I don't wanna date no do you know what I mean? And that was a thing. That was a big thing. Like, you know what I mean? And a lot of times, even on the African side, a lot of our parents. I think African
you can't talk like Farrakhan.
I don't want to say that they would open to dating Caribbeans 100%. I'm sure they wouldn't, but I don't really
you wouldn't even have the courage, the testicular fortitude to ask them why did they want to boil the man you call your Savior in excrement. Now let me tell you something about your Savior. Jesus 2,000 years ago, I want you to study this. He never taught black people. Now you got to study what I'm saying. I don't give a skip what they say in theological cemeteries. Warn them of the end of their world. Now look at the conversation that Jesus in the book of John had with the Jews. It's right there. He and the Jews were arguing. And the Jews said, "We are Abraham's seed." And Jesus said, "Well, if you were Abraham's seed, you would do the works of Abraham. The Quran says of Abraham, he was neither a Christian or a Jew. He was an upright man, and he was not of the polytheists. So show me the Jew that's upright. You got some? Claiming Abraham's seed. Then they took it up higher. They said, God is our Father. Go read it for yourself. And Jesus said, if God were your Father, you would love me. For I proceeded forth and came from God. Now you seek to kill me, a man that has told you the truth. I know you. Jesus, you are of your father, the devil. He was a liar from the beginning and abode not in the truth. So you got to ask them why they want to come to your church. This man befriended me, Reverend Willie Wilson, when nobody would befriend me. He brought me into his heart and into his church, and we became brothers. True Christian love is what we've shared with each other as Muslim, Christian, Muslim, because I'm just as much a Christian and he's just as much a Muslim as I am. You ready for this? Take it a little higher. Didn't Billy Graham just die?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Billy Graham is one of the greatest Christian evangelists of the 20th century. Do you know when they had the 75th anniversary of Time magazine, they invited everybody that was on the cover of Time magazine, and I was on the cover, so they invited me. And there I was, with all these heavy white folks. I was there with Kissinger. He looked like he had seen God. You know how the devil would act when he see God, you know. And guess what? At the end, Billy Graham was down in front, and I went down to greet him. He was talking to Muhammad Ali, who was also on the cover of Time. And when Billy saw me, he broke away from Ali and ran to me and held me and kissed me. I said, God, Billy, I didn't know it was like that. The man kissed me. I didn't kiss back. It was tongue in cheek. And he treated me with such respect. I wrote to his son, because I wanted to go and let's sit down and talk religion. Because he said in the 60s that Jesus was a black man. Now, I know that picture that you got on your wall. How many, now don't raise your hand. I believe maybe some Muslims in here that still got a picture. How many of you have seen that picture of Jesus on the wall in your homes, in your family's homes, in the South? Jesus, come on. Okay. But you only put it up there because you thought Jesus kind of looked like that. Jesus, wow. They have many pictures of a black Jesus and a black Madonna. They don't talk to you about that, but you see the Pope bowing to the black Jesus and the black Mary. It's true, true, true. But, oh, let me see which Pope that is. Oh, yeah, John, Paul, and they all have that black Jesus. They know about him. But why won't they tell you? Why won't they tell the brown man that he was a brown man? Why won't they tell you your kinship to Jesus? Because that's too much for you to know of good about the nature of you. It's the same as the nature of Jesus himself. All right. Now, Billy Graham is lying in state right now, I think, in the rotunda of the Capitol building. The last person that was there was Rosa Parks. And some white man said, yeah, and Farrakhan said her eulogy. No, I didn't say her eulogy. I was invited by those who loved Miss Parks to say something at her funeral. You should have seen the jockeying going on. My brother T.D. Jakes, he didn't want to come behind me. He asked Reverend Al, can I change places with you? Reverend Al said, hey, no. And what I said at the funeral became her eulogy. But she's lying in state in the rotunda. Where's Farrakhan? Oh, they getting ready to kill Farrakhan or put him in jail. But Billy Graham is in the rotunda. What did Billy Graham say about Jews? Do you have anything there, brother, that you could put up about what Billy said? Because I really want to read. He was in the Oval Office. Oh, how you doing, Billy? He's talking about the Jews. And he said, this stranglehold has got to be broken or this country is going down the drain. He said that in the Oval Office with Nixon. Listen, you got anything else to put up? Thank you. And Nixon said after he said that, you believe that? It's Nixon talking. And Mr. Graham said, yes, sir. He said, oh boy, so do I. But I can't ever say that. But I believe it. That's the President of the United States. He ain't got no balls.